Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and others of Great Millstone. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Barakatam to you, hopefully elect. This is going to be in regards to being the fact that we are in what they call Pride Month. All right. Which the scriptures talk about how pride goeth before destruction. And you see, this is why Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, when it comes down to it, man, he's going to completely destroy the whole land. Because, oftentimes we go into scriptures dealing with how America is going to be completely destroyed. America is going to be completely consumed with fire. To the point where America is never going to be established again. It's never going to be built back up. But to those who don't know, those imposters over there currently inhabiting our land, the land of Israel, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, he's going to wipe that whole area out as well. All right. Because again, in regards to this Pride Month, which this should be one inkling to let people know that the people currently living in the land right now of Israel, they're not the real people. Because for one, according to prophecy, the prophecy states when the real people get into the land, for one, it's going to come by way of Yahushai. You see, Yahushua is going to be the one to actually bring the children of Israel over to the land. So that's one inkling. But another, again, in regards to this Pride Month, the fact that in the world, those Amalekites, those imposters over there, they hold some, if not the biggest parades in the world. You see, that's why I said the Lord, ultimately, he's going to wipe that whole area out. All right. Because again, pride goeth before destruction. I want to go through a few scriptures. First, I'm going to get this. In 2 Peter chapter 2. I'm going to start at verse 5. It says, matter of fact, verse 4, 2 Peter 2 and 4. For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment, and spared not the old world. Because, the scriptures talk about how basically, man, we're living in the times of Noah all over again, As brothers affectionately say, there's a lot of flood-like behavior going on throughout the four corners of the earth, you see. And when you're reading the book of Revelation and it talks about the first and the second death, all right, the second death is going to come by way of fire, because that's going to be the Lord's way of cleansing the earth of the wickedness, purging the earth of wickedness. All right. And again, because like I said, oftentimes we talk about how America is ultimately going to be destroyed and never going to be built back up and established by mankind ever again. But Israel as well is going to be completely destroyed by fire. And the difference is, unlike America, Israel will be reestablished. Israel is going to be built back up. All right. Because that's going to be our headquarters. All right. But, when those ICBM missiles hit different parts of the earth, Israel will be completely wiped out. And that's the second death. All right. That fire, but the first death being the flood, the earth, the Lord cleansed the earth with water. All right. Verse 5 again, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the eighth person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly. And not only does the scriptures talk about how we are in the days of Noah all over again, but we're also in the days of Lot. Right? Verse 6, it says, in turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly. So you see, Yahweh Shema Shai left these things here for us to learn from. All right. But instead, people ignore Yahweh Shema Shai and just wax more and more evil, more and more wicked, and it's scary because, all those years ago, here it is, the Lord, he's very long suffering. He's very patient, but it got to the point where he said enough is enough. And he destroyed the earth with water. And he overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and those other cities by way of fire. The Lord, he got fed up and he couldn't take it anymore. And that was all, all those years ago. Well, how much more now, being that the earth this is the most wicked that the earth has ever been. And that's why I said it's scary, because we could just imagine the level of we could just imagine the destruction that's going to take place. We can only imagine. Until we actually see it, we can only imagine. And like I said, man, it's scary. It's scary. But nevertheless, the Lord left Sodom and Gomorrah as an example, you see. So Sodom and Gomorrah was left as an example to anyone that wants to follow after that path. Anyone that wants to go down that road. Sodom and Gomorrah was supposed to be left as an example. You see, because there's no new thing under the sun, And again, fire and brimstone rained down upon Sodom and Gomorrah. Well, this time it's going to come by way of those ICBM nuclear missiles. The fire is going to come by way of those ICBM missiles. You see? And I'll read on. It says, and delivered just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. You see? Because this is vexing, It's so wicked to the point where we can't even, speak out against these things, You speak out against these things, you're the one that's looked at as abnormal. You're the one that's looked at sideways, for speaking out against these things, standing up for righteousness. They're allowing kids to watch these drag shows. They're just shoving it in our throats, down our throats, man. To the point where it's like they're forcing people to get down with this program, because at one point, people who so-called come out the closet, it was a thing of cool, you do your thing, I do my thing, whatever. But now it's to the point where it's like, man, if you're not down with this, then something's wrong with you. If you're not down with this, then pretty much you're the bad guy. Because again, it's like they're shoving us down our throat, man. And again, it's vexing, because like Noah, it said Noah in verse 5 talked about Noah in the eighth person, right? Noah and his family, they were the elect at that time. Then you had Lot, right? Lot and his family, they were the elect at that time, during that time. Well, during this time, the elect are going to get delivered when this destruction comes, because it's coming, man. This place, the Lord is allowing this place to just, because the scriptures talk about how the iniquities of this place, man, it's reached unto heaven, all the iniquities, man, is reached unto heaven. And again, the Lord is just allowing the iniquities to rack up, because again, once the destruction comes, it's going to be justified, But verse 8, it says, For that righteous man dwelling among them and seeing and hearing vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. All right. So the works that they were committing, it is not hard to imagine because we see today, like I said, hey, I'm not even going to get into detail with because again, they're rubbing this off the children now, they're pushing this on the kids now, the children, I'm not even going to get into the details, but like I said, it's not hard to imagine what Lot had to deal with because we're vexed with it today, times 100, but they said their unlawful deeds, man, the unlawful deeds, the works, their actions, what they were actually doing, from the filthy conversations to the actual unlawful deeds, and real quick, man, Genesis 19, to make a quick point, Genesis 19, I'm going to go through it briefly, real quick, starting at verse 1. And there came two angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat at the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground, and he said, Behold, now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early and go on your ways. Because Lot knew, what they say the freaks come out at night. Well, now we're in the times where the freaks are out 24/7. They're out day and night, but Lot knew, he understood. That's why he said, and he prayed and he said, Behold, now, my lords, turn in, I pray you. So, Lot was damn nearly begging these angels to, basically trying to take them off the street because he knew and he understood what's to go down. The freaks come out at night, right? It said, and they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly because, again, Lot knew and understood. He was, like I said, damn nearly begging them, please, brethren, he was begging them, it said and he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him and entered into his house, and he made a feast and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round. All right, now this is the point, because it said both old and young, all the people from every quarter. So you see, you had old and young Sodomites. All right, Sodomites, man, old and young, children, old men. Just again, it's not hard to imagine because we see it today, man. We see today. And this is why Yahweh Shema Shai, like I said, man, he's going to bring, listen, the level of destruction that's getting ready to take place. It's not going to be like anything we've ever witnessed before, man. This earth is getting ready to witness a level of wrath that has never been seen before. Because again, we look at all these different examples throughout time in history when the Lord brought judgment because of the wickedness. All right. Well, again, how much more now, being that, like I said, this earth is at an all-time high in wickedness. So how much more the destruction now? It said old and young. We had old men and little kids, man, surrounding this house. Trying to get commit these sodomitish acts. But to go back to the point, because again, Yahweh Shema Shai, he's going to clear that whole area out over there. Like I said, it's supposed to be the holy people in the Holy Land. But like I said, they have some of the biggest parades in the world. And the Lord's oath, eventually he's going to clear that whole area out. So I'm going to go to Amos chapter 1. Amos chapter 1, I'm going to start at verse 3. It says, Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Damascus, and for 4, I would not turn away the punishment thereof, because they have threshed Gilead with threshing instruments of iron. But I will send a fire into the house of Hazael, which shall devour the palaces of Benadad. I will break also the bar of Damascus, and cut off the inhabitant of the plain of Avon, and him that holdeth the sceptre from the house of Eden, and the people of Syria shall go into captivity unto Kir, saith the Lord. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Gaza, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they carried away captive the whole captivity to deliver them up to Edom. But I will send a fire on the wall of Gaza, which shall devour the palaces thereof. And I will cut off the inhabitant from Ashdod. So you see all these places, Ashdod, Gaza, Damascus, all these places are over there in the Middle East. You see? So the point being that, again, the Lord is going to clear that whole area out. I'm going to finish this. In verse 8, it says, and I will cut off the inhabitant of Ashdod, and him that holdeth the sceptre of Ashkelon, and I will turn mine hand against Ekron, and the remnant of the Philistines shall perish, saith the Lord power. So you see, again, just the point being that whole area, like I said, these are places over there in the, over there in that region. And like I said, Yahweh Shemashah, he's gonna cleanse that whole area over there. You know, all the heathens, they're fighting for our land, fighting for land that doesn't belong to any one of them. Right. Ultimately, the Lord's going to settle the score. He's just going to clear the whole area out. Because like I said, America's going to be completely destroyed with fire, as well as Israel. But the difference is Israel will be built back up. All right. Israel will be established, because that's going to be our headquarters. But the Lord's going to clear that whole area out with fire. All right. Pride goeth before destruction. Hopefully this was edifying. All praises to Yahweh Bashim Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Bashim Shai Brakathum to you, hopefully elect. Lord's willing, until next time. Shalom.